YouTube? This is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. And anyone that's in this area or is just a little bit west of this area where the severe weather's gone through, I hope you guys are safe. Just by whether you are or are not watching this video by chance. To anyone that's been watching the channel long enough, you should know by now, anytime I have Radar Omega up, something's going on. And the topic, of course, is what we've been talking about for the last really 2 odd weeks, but for the last week we've been worried about this severe weather setup, and lo and behold, it is happening. Main threat has been damaging winds, and it has definitely lived up to expectations so far, and we expect that to continue. We also have the threat of tornadoes, particularly around this area. I think this area is the one of great interest as far as maybe even some significant tornadoes. We'll go into that in a moment, but as you can see, we have a multitude of tornado watches and even some tornado warnings along with this line of storms that has, of course, a history of producing straight line damaging winds. One report even sitting at 80 miles an hour, and I'm going to actually take a look at this here. It's 83 miles an hour near Shelby, Mississippi in the Bolivar County. And they're also saying this could have been a possible tornado. This was measured by a mesonet, which is pretty reliable, so the fact that that's some truth, well, it's impressive. That's very impressive for a storm system to produce those kinds of straight line winds. This is definitely going to be a problem for all areas around all areas, even into the marginal risk possibly. I think they'll lose a little steam by then, but not very much. So Atlanta, you're definitely in this, and areas just a little bit to the east, maybe even Athens. Once we get into the marginal, things kind of get a little bit hairy. We've lost a lot of daytime heating by that point. You might have a risk for tomorrow, but I think it's not going to be too much different. But we'll take a look at what the radar will look like tonight, and we'll briefly go over tomorrow, and then that's going to be that. So let's go here, and then we're going to look at our HRRR model, our high resolution rapid refresh model. That's what HRRR stands for, by the way, just in case anyone would like to know. So we're looking right around about the 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central Time, and we're watching these storms work their way off to the east and push their way north too. Could have some locally severe storms around the northern tier of this, maybe even a few cold core storms around the eastern side of this low pressure system here. So we're going to push further and further forward. I do think this model is lagging a little bit behind. I do think the storms are going to be moving through a little bit faster than that. I think probably this will be about 1 a.m. Central, 1 a.m. Central Time. This is when Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, a lot of you guys are going to get some of the worst weather. Also, to anyone that's ahead of these storms, you're going to notice the winds pick up well before the storm gets here. You probably have already noticed it now. Probably by the time this video is over, you may even hear one really loud wind gust that's going to be coming from my window, that's going to be coming from outside next to my window. But that's just going to show just how powerful our wind field is ahead of the storm. So this could be a very intense line of storms, very intense winds. Basically, the best mode of advice I could give you: tie down anything that you can that's not secure, or bring it inside. Maybe even treat the severe thunderstorm warnings like a tornado warning, because I mean, honestly, if you were to get, say, a 70-80 mile per hour wind gust, it can do the same damage as a small tornado. Tear some shingles off, break some windows, throw loose debris around, and cause a lot of damage still. So yeah, don't hang around windows either. So just keep going. So I'm just going to keep going forward here, and we're towards the end of our model run. This was on Thursday. Like I said, time frame for this seems to be a little bit off. I do think these storms move through a lot earlier. I do think this is delayed, and we'll probably have to talk a little bit more about Thursday tomorrow. So based off what the National Weather Service, I'm also gonna go on a note here and say based off what the National Weather Service was showing, this looks like more of a cold core setup around here. I do think there is still a tornado threat, but the wind threat is definitely seeming to take the cake up here. There is an isolated tornado threat around the Panhandle, Florida, and far southern Georgia towards like Valdosta, Camden County type area. Beyond that, though, damaging wind definitely seems to be the primary threat from this point forward. So, just going to take one quick look and go over Thursday one more time. This is tomorrow. As we can see, southern end of Georgia. Augusta, you might be in this too. We got Tallahassee, Florida, Jacksonville, just on the edge of the slight risk here. Charleston, you're literally just on the border between slight and marginal risk. Definitely keep an eye out for your weather tomorrow. But yeah, the tornado threat is very isolated. Pretty much reduced to just this little area here. Valdosta, like I said, you guys are in play. Tallahassee, Panama City, Jacksonville, you're in the 2%. I mean, any of these areas in the green can still get a tornado, but the main focus is definitely looking to be more towards southern Georgia and the eastern panhandle of Florida. So that's all I really got for you guys. I don't really see a point in beating a dead horse. We already knew this was coming well in advance. So we're just going to make this quick. This is going to be my first video under 10 minutes, which I'm proud of myself for. Hopefully I didn't take too much of you guys' time rambling. But definitely if you're in a risk for severe weather tonight, definitely stay weather aware. You have a way to get these warnings even into the overnight. And that's all I got for you guys tonight. This has been Tire Metalhead. This afternoon. I'm not used to recording this early. But like I said, this is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. You guys stay safe. You can hear the wind going on outside. You guys stay safe and have a good evening and night.